All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a highly documented, completely bizarre sequence of events on a local delivery route that honestly just defies all logic. This is the case study of the Hollow Creek deliveries, and I promise you, it's going to make you rethink every single late-night drive you have ever taken. Every delivery driver has a route they hate. That quote right there, it drops us directly into the isolated, super unnerving reality of our protagonist. We're going to call him Danny. He was a night courier for a regional company out of a tiny town, and this specific route was the one that literally everyone actively avoided. And here's exactly why. Route 9, it is exactly 11 miles long, but we are talking about a breezy highway drive here. This is 11 miles of dead, overarching pine trees, lit up by nothing but a single, solitary blinking red light. Now, the route pays double. The official reason is wildlife hazards, but unofficially, the other drivers just kept quitting right in the middle of their shifts. At the very end of those 11 miles is the ultimate destination, 1114 Hollow Creek Road. But here's what's truly terrifying about this spot, and, well, what Danny definitely did not know on his first night. The resident of this house had actually been dead for 6 years, yet somehow the packages just never stopped coming. Because of this absolute nightmare of a reality, the depot's 30-year veteran dispatcher, Ruth, had established some ironclad rules for survival. Her protocol was strict, no exceptions. Drop the package on the porch, do not ring the bell, don't look through the windows, and above all else, keep walking straight back to your truck. Ruth made absolutely sure Danny knew the stakes before his very first shift. She looked right at him, dead serious, and said, "Whatever you hear, you keep walking." And she wasn't joking around. The gravity of that warning really sets a deeply unsettling tone for exactly what Danny was driving into. But look, Danny takes the shift anyway, mostly because he desperately needs the money for his daughter's surgery. That first delivery, though, deeply unsettling. It isn't your standard corporate cardboard box. It's this small shoebox wrapped in brown paper with absolutely zero return address. The label just reads, "For Margaret. She's waiting." So Danny pulls up to this old Victorian farmhouse, pitch black windows, sagging porch, no car in the driveway, just complete dead silence. But the second Danny walks up the gravel path, that silence breaks. This sudden, totally impossible sound starts up. It's a woman's voice humming a lullaby from somewhere deep inside that dark, empty house. And the crazy part? The humming completely stops the exact second he sets the box down on the porch. And then a soft, almost polite voice speaks clearly right through that heavy, closed front door. "You didn't knock. Everyone else knocks." Obviously, Danny doesn't stick around to chat. He bolts. He barely manages to get his keys in the ignition, literally physically shaking the entire drive back to town. Okay, so the next morning, a completely terrified Danny confronts Ruth, and she finally spills the tragic history of 114 Hollow Creek Road. Back in the 1990s, Margaret Hollis lost her husband and son in a horrific fire in the West Wing. Margaret survived, but she spent her final decades obsessively ordering packages, just to have someone, anyone, come to her door. 6 years ago, she died of heart failure, just sitting on her porch, waiting for delivery. But the deliveries, they never stopped. And to put this into perspective, here is a detail that is just absolutely wild. Margaret was actually dead on her porch for 4 full days before anyone even found her. Yet, during those 4 days, all the neighbors swore they saw her house lights turning on and off every single night. Naturally, Danny asks Ruth the obvious question. What happens if you break the rules? What happens if you don't just leave the box and walk away? Ruth reveals the incredibly grim fate of the previous driver. Pete opened the door. Pete was the driver who vanished without a trace, leaving his uniform folded neatly on his truck at the edge of the road, all because he broke that one core rule. Now, you'd think that would be the end of it, right? But 2 weeks later, we hit a massive turning point. Still desperate to pay for his daughter's surgery, Danny kind of rationalizes that first night. He tells himself it was just bad nerves or maybe the wind playing tricks on him. So when dispatch radios with another package for 114 Hollow Creek Road, Danny actually agrees to go back out to Route 9. But you see, this time, the whole game has changed. Think about it. On the first delivery, the humming started after he walked up, and Danny managed to just walk away. But the second time, the humming is already waiting for him before his foot even hits the front steps. As he turns to leave, the porch light suddenly flicks on, And in that terrifying split-second moment, Danny makes a fatal mistake. He breaks the ultimate rule. He looks back. Through the glass, catching the harsh glare of that single porch bulb, he sees her. It's an old woman in a pale nightgown standing perfectly still on the other side of the window, and she is staring directly at him with these milky, clouded eyes that haven't blinked in 6 whole years. Then, her mouth actually moves. No sound comes through the heavy glass, but Danny can read the exact shape of the words perfectly. You looked, now you knock. It is the one singular moment that just pushes his sanity completely over the edge. He totally panics. I mean, who wouldn't? He runs 3 miles. 3 miles on foot, in the dead of night, completely abandoning his delivery truck on that creepy dead tree road just to escape whatever the heck is waiting for him inside that house. By the next morning, Danny is just done. He has reached total resignation. He marches straight into the depot, finds Ruth, and tells her he is quitting for good. He is completely done with Route 9, no matter what kind of financial ruin it means for his family. But Ruth? She just nods slowly. And then she asks him if he actually knows why the orders never stop. Because it isn't Margaret placing those orders from beyond the grave to keep the cycle going, as Ruth points out with this chilling, irrefutable logic. Dead women don't have credit cards. Building the tension to an absolutely unbearable level, Ruth reaches under the counter. She silently slides the night's upcoming delivery log right across to Danny. It's a brand new order form already logged in the system, destined for 114 Hollow Creek Road. Let's break down this new order, because the logic here is literally impossible. The customer name on the account? It's Danny. The payment method? A credit card that Danny had personally canceled 2 years ago. And the scheduled delivery time? Tonight at exactly 11:47 p.m., which is the precise minute his shift was supposed to end, right as he would have been driving past the turn for Hollow Creek Road. Ruth just looks at him with this terrifying mix of pity and warning. She tells him super softly, she doesn't pick the drivers. She picks the ones who looked back. By breaking that one golden rule, Danny hasn't just witnessed a ghost. He has officially become the next delivery. So where does that leave us? Right now, Danny is hiding out at a bright-lit gas station, a full 40 miles outside of town. But honestly, distance doesn't even matter anymore. He looks down at his phone as the screen lights up with one new digital notification. It's a delivery confirmation for an order he never placed, scheduled for 11:47 p.m. at 1114 Hollow Creek Road. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. If you happen to be driving late tonight on some dead road with way too many trees and not nearly enough streetlights, and you hear humming coming from somewhere it definitely shouldn't be, remember Ruth's protocol. Keep walking straight back to your car. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you hear that humming tonight, will you look back?